Hello, welcome to Friday Sews and welcome to my parents' attic. My name is Christine and this is my channel, Christine Sews a Lot. Now on Friday Sews, the format is to talk about what you're working on, what your sewing plans are, and a little bit about life. For me, it's mostly about life on this edition of Friday Sews. We have a lot going on. Notice my new location. Charlie and I sold our house, which was a big relief. We knew it would sell quickly, but there's always that little bit of anxiety when you have so many things on your list. So we'll be closing on the house in about 2 weeks. Charlie still has some things to finish up at church, so he'll be joining me after Easter, and I am house hunting. And it is a really big hunt. There's nothing for sale of what we're interested in, and there's not a lot for sale that we're not interested in. It's a really tough market, but I will persevere. We are very fortunate in that we can stay with my parents while we're house hunting, and I have set up a little sewing nook for me in the attic. I am trying really hard not to spread my stuff throughout the house. I've got a pile in the basement, and I'm trying to keep the rest of my things up here in the attic. My mother keeps a really tidy house, and I don't want to intrude any more than necessary. They are so gracious, and I'm thankful to be able to be staying with them while we're looking for a house. So I've done a teeny tiny bit of sewing or sewing tasks. I have traced my size and the pattern for the Mandy Boat tee, and I've cut out all my pieces, and I am being very inspired by Michelle of Michelle Sews Again and my fabric choice. This is a fabric, I think I showed it in a fabric haul. When I picked it up, I was like, what was I thinking? I knew what I was thinking. I was very inspired by Michelle's addition of color to her life, but I'm afraid I am more of a navy, gray, black, maroon. I don't go much for bright colors other than cobalt blue, which I love. But anyway, I thought I'm just going to try it. I'm going to be brave. So this is a really interesting knit. It's an inexpensive knit that I picked up at Joann's, and I'm using that to test out the Mandy Boat tee. Now that is one of the pattern suggestions I had for Sew Frugal 22. So I'm going to be making my first run through. I think it would be really fun to make matching t-shirts for me and my mother to wear. I think she'll be game for it. She's super petite, so I'm going to have a little think about adjusting a pattern down. So Sarah, if you have any tips, my mother's just a tiny bit taller than you. I love them. And speaking of Mandy from What Mandy Makes Next, I believe her channel is. It used to be Pickety Stitch. I'm going to link the video I'm talking about below. She had a recent video where she talked about the new Gutermann thread to use on knit fabrics, and she had one of the best reviews of this thread that I found. I think you'd be interested, so I'll link that below. I think I'm going to pick some up. I think I'll be too anxious to sew up this Mandy Boat tee since it's all cut out, and my sewing machine has been begging me to give it some attention. But I think for the next one, I would really like to try that new Gutermann thread to where you can sew a straight stitch and it won't pop. Very intrigued. But I'm going to link Mandy's video below. I think you'll like it. I'm going to pop in some footage of my new sewing space. I'm cutting out downstairs in the basement. I won't show that, but my sewing space. You may be able to hear animals because I have the window open. My parents keep the house a little on the hot side, and so I like to have the window open. And mostly I hear birds. It's not always barking dogs, but I think I'm really going to enjoy listening to nature while I sew. So I'm going to pop in some video and I'll be back. Thank you so much for joining me. I have some other videos I think you might enjoy, and until next time, I hope you have a joyful week and you find the good in all things, especially sewing.